Hi everybody, I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. I'm so excited to have you here today. Before we get started, be sure to sign up for my free monthly newsletter over at CorinneBlackstone.com. I will send you one newsletter a month and it will have all sorts of great information in it, so be sure to check it out. You can find lots of other fun stuff over at my website as well, along with blogs, SVGs, all sorts of fun stuff. In today's video, we're going to do something really fun that Patrick from Siser taught us how to do with 143 vinyl. And you guys wanted a full tutorial, so here I am to help you out. This is a really fun technique that you can do, and we call it embossed design. So what it is two different kinds of vinyl layered on top, and it's going to make this really cool 3D design. I will give you guys a look at this before we get started up close. All you're going to need for this is some sort of die cutting machine. You can do this with the Cricut, Solo, Silhouette, Brother Scan and Cut, all the things. And then all you're going to need are two types of HTV. First, you're going to need some Siser Easyweed stretch. Any color that you choose, it's up to you. Whatever you want it to look like is fine. And then you're going to need some Siser Brick 600. This is a really thick HTV, and it's going to give us that embossed look. It comes in a couple of colors. It's cool. It doesn't really matter what color you use for this. You can kind of use whatever you have or whatever you can find, but I used white. They have a ton of different colors to choose from though. But this is a really fun product. It kind of feels almost like foamy when you pick it up, but you're going to need a sheet of that to get started. So let's head over to Cricut Design Space. I'm going to show you how to set up the design so that it looks really cool. Then we're going to go ahead and cut it. I'll show you all the cut settings. Then we'll press it and we'll have this really neat design when we're done.
Whatever we would do, we do it just for fun.
I'm going to show you guys how to make this embossed design here in Cricut Design Space. This is super easy, really, really fun. So I'm actually going to use an image from Cricut Design Space. It's just a lot easier, but you can really use any image. I do recommend something with a little bit more space, a little bit more of an open area to do this, or something that is a completely solid shape is also an option, but I wouldn't use something like these flowers. There's too many little areas that the HTV can't kind of sink into. So you'll want to use something that has quite a bit of an open space. Now there's a flower that I did a test on and I think it looked so cool. So we're going to use that little flower. I just need to find it again. I should have saved it, but did I? No. Here it is. This one is really cute, but again, you can kind of use whatever you want. This is just a really fun little flower that I thought looked really cool with this embossed design. I'm going to pull it a little bit towards the center of the screen so that you guys can see this better. But this is super easy because all we need to do is add a little offset to this and we're done. So simply click offset and give it just a second because sometimes the offset takes a minute to load. But while it's loading, you can kind of play with this little slide bar and move it down a little bit. I don't want a really, really big offset on this. This is about how big I want to go. So this is about 0.15. I'm going to click apply. And it's going to turn my offset black. But you'll see all these little holes in this offset. We don't want those. We want our offset to be solid. So what I'm going to do is click on the word contour here in my lower right hand corner. I simply will wait for this to load, and then all I'm going to do is click hide all contours. That'll turn my black shape into a completely solid shape. Super easy, nothing too fancy about that. So now you'll see that we have two pieces. We have our flower, and then we also have our little offset. Now, with this design, the offset will actually go over the flower. The flower is going to be cut on Siser Brick 600, and the flower will be cut on Siser Stretch. Now, if you need some help on cut settings, let me show you where you can go. 143 Vinyl has a great cut settings document. I will link it down below. They have all the adhesive vinyl that they carry, and then they also have all the HTV. So for our Siser Brick, it recommends light cardstock plus, meaning light cardstock with more pressure. If you have an Explore machine, you're going to turn your dial just one click past the cardstock setting. And if you have a machine without a dial, so the 3 or any of the makers, you're just going to go to light cardstock with more pressure. Now, I will say I do recommend doing some test cuts. Typically for me, with more pressure, it cuts a little bit too deep. So I just cut it on the light cardstock setting and it's fine, but you'll want to kind of try a few small test cuts. If you need to know how to do test cuts, I'll link that video down below for you. Then it tells you the silhouette settings and your brother's scan and cut settings. But this is the most important part for me, is the pressure, the time, and the temp here. So here we have our pressure is on this side, so it's to the right, but then we have our time and our temp. So this recommends 311 degrees for 20 seconds with medium to firm pressure, and this is a cold peel product, meaning you want to peel this after it has cooled down. We'll scroll down and take a look at the Siser Stretch, which is just down here. This recommends Iron-On Plus for your Explore machines and the Everyday Iron-On setting for the Maker. I find Everyday Iron-On works perfectly for this. This is going to press at 320 degrees for 20 seconds with firm pressure, and it's a cold or a hot peel. Now, because we are layering these, we are not going to press that brick for quite as long as it recommends. That way we can get it without it shrinking too much, if it's going to shrink at all. The next thing that we're going to do is head over to the machine to cut these. The first piece that we're cutting is our Siser Easyweed. So this is the beautiful coral color. Now this is white on the back so that your coral will stay nice and bright on dark colors. So what I'm going to do is load this on to my mat, and we're going to go ahead and get that all done. We're going to load this into our machine, and again, this cuts on the Everyday Iron-On setting. Once it's done with the Easyweed, go ahead and unload it, and then we're going to need to change our cut setting because we are going to cut our Siser brick. Now, Siser brick is a really cool product. It feels really kind of heavy, almost like a foam. You're going to make sure that you cut this with the carrier sheet side down when you do cut this. So I'm going to go ahead and load this on to my mat. I'm just using a scrap piece that I have for this. I'm going to go ahead and load it. I'm going to make sure to change my cut setting to the light cardstock setting. I'm going to be doing this on a racerback tank top. This is just a Next Level brand, and this is one of their burnout ones. But because it has this racerback on it, I actually like to take my pressing pillow and place it inside because of the back seams. Those can tend to be kind of a pain and get in the way. Now we are going to be doing this kind of on to the left side of the chest, so more of like a pocket logo. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of put my racerback tank all the way kind of to the side so I can access this section right here, which is where we're going to put our little flower. So what I'm going to do is, this is our flower. Now it is going to be hard to see against the tank top a little bit right now because it is white. So I'm just going to kind of pull this to where I want it, and then I'm going to flip it around. And you want to put it vinyl side down, so HTV side down. And then I do recommend using some heat tape for this, because this is going to move around a little bit on your mat when you move your shirt, because this carrier sheet is not sticky at all for the brick. So that's something to just note. The brick carrier sheet is not sticky. So I'm going to take you guys over to the heat press. I'll take our tank top with us, and then we can press it. So our heat press is all ready to go. So you'll see here that I've got all this extra like fabric tucked up above where my pillow is, my pressing pillow. And then I just make sure that this is fully on my pillow, that there's no wrinkles on top. And then all we're going to do is give this a nice press. Now I am using pretty firm pressure on this because I found that that worked pretty well. We're going to press this for about 6 or so seconds, pop it up. And then remember, this is a cool peel. So what you want to do, it's not hot, but it's warm. So what we want to do is just kind of let this cool. You can take it, because it's on the pressing pillow, and kind of pull it off of your press and just give it a little shaky shake to cool it off. Whatever you need to do, I'm going to take this and let this cool for just a few minutes. We'll go ahead and peel this carrier sheet off, and then we can press the offset on top of it. I took my pressing pillow out from under this just for a little bit because I need to be able to see through my shirt because it's a little bit easier if you can see through it. So I'm just going to kind of flatten this out a little bit. And this is only going to fit on here one direction. Any other direction and it's not going to fit because the way the petals are. So what I'm going to do is just try to get this lined up. Now, one reason I like to do this, I'm going to hold this up backwards so that my light is on the other side of my HTV. And I think I need to move it down and over just a hair. So that's one thing, is you want to be able to sort of see through. It makes it a lot easier. You can also kind of just feel the edges, but for me, I like to be able to see through it a little bit. And we are going to use some heat tape on this because this is going to shift around a little on top of the brick because the brick does make it a little hard to grip. So you'll want to grab some heat tape, and you can honestly just use the heat tape that you already used on your previous design here. So on your brick, I can just peel that off and reuse it. It's going to be sticky enough. You'll be fine. And that's just going to help us hold it down while we're kind of looking to see if it looks pretty straight. That looks really pretty good. So I'm going to go with it. So again, what I want to do, and I'm going to flip this back over because I accidentally flipped it the wrong way, is I'm just going to make sure to put my pressing pillow inside of my shirt. And I'll get you guys a nice wide view and then we can press. Got everything lined up, so we are ready to press. Now this one we are going to give the full 20 seconds with that firm pressure. All right, we're ready to pop this up. And one thing I'll tell you guys that I found helps a lot, I peel this hot peel. And don't worry, it's not like really, really hot, so you'll be okay to touch the carrier sheet. But I do find that it helps if I just sort of take and press that down a little bit. You can use the shirt, like the cool parts of the shirt, to just kind of give it a little tap. And I just found that that gave me just a little bit more definition. But I think this came out so cute. I'm going to take it over to the table so that we can take a look at it. Here is the finished shirt. I do feel like this is pretty hard to capture on camera, but look at how cool that looks with the embossing. It's really neat from the side, but it looks really beautiful in person. Again, I do feel like this is a little hard to capture on camera, but it is so cool. Look at that. Super fun, really easy. And then again, this is something that you can do with kind of a more open design, I think works better, but definitely do some testing. And then I'll show you what the back of it looks like. I think this could be really fun if you could put it on the inside of a shirt as well, and then kind of have it look 3D from the back. I think that's cool. But I like this offset option as well. And thank you again to Patrick with Siser for showing us this technique. I wanted to give you guys this really cool full look here. And it's just so nifty, isn't it? I love it. This is really fun, and again, I really hope you guys will experiment and play around with it and see what kind of designs you can come up with. There's lots of ways to do this, so let your creativity be your guide. If you have any questions, please let me know in those comments down below. I'm always happy to answer those for you. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and as always, happy crafting!